just about negligence of proper duty, because if if they had done their duty properly, there would be no this issue of flight ticket and all of that. So no reason is cogent enough for them to tell Nigerians that that is the reason why they should be exonerated from blames. They should take the full responsibility.
Well, let's hope the Athletics Federation of Nigeria can take the full responsibility and explain to Nigerians why we have only one athlete at the very first international world championship of the year. This we had notice of this long time, and they should have planned with the calendar, but here again it's been boggled, and let's hope that there will be excuses, and there should be some kind of officials being held responsible. In the past, we don't get officials being held responsible, and so this event or these incidents keep happening. It is legendary. If you remember at the Olympics, we had a lot of issues where some of the athletes just traveled but were not registered for their events and all of this. And up to today, no one has been held responsible, and looks like it is now a merry-go-round.
It's more like a merry-go-round. You just pointed at the issue of the last Olympic game where some athlete who qualified, couldn't get their name registered. It was such an uproar at some point. Nigerians weren't even happy. Panel of inquiry was set up to actually fish out those responsible. At the end of the day, we discovered the chairman was also among those. Then we took out Rita Moshundi, the secretary then, but then the sport minister then, like, look as though those panel of inquiry couldn't, they came out with their own finding and actually pointed one or two accusation finger to some person, one or two person, but till date, no punishment, have been served to them. So it looks as though that is why the reason why this other set of people under new era of the National Sport Commission, we thought maybe there should be a difference, more drastic action and punitive measure taken against some of these officials who, failed to discharge their duty. But then no action taken yet, and I think for me, it's not encouraging. But we'll keep our fingers crossed, maybe in the next few days, to see if there's any punitive action that should be taken against these officials.
National Sports Commission has a lot to do here, ensuring that the different federations are up and running, doing what they're supposed to do, so that we do not get further international embarrassment at the World Championship like we've seen here in China. Meanwhile, we'll go to chess now. The Nigerian Chess Federation has announced that it will host the FIDE Zone 4.2 Championship for the first time in Lagos this year. Chess is not very popular here in Nigeria, but it seems to be gaining momentum.
Yeah, it seems to be gaining momentum, especially Nigeria also making headway in terms of trying to host one or two regional or continental tournaments here. We'll be having about 12 other African countries joining us that right there in Lagos State for this massive championship. I think the last time that we were in this very competition, Abdurrahman was the Nigerian that came first in that very one. And I hope that he continues his impressive run, what we saw last time out. But then I tell you, it's going to be a very fierce one, because we have other good teams such as Sierra Leone as well, being part and parcel of this one. We will see how it goes, but then good a thing that we are able to host one or two major competition out there, and that is the way to go, and that is how our players can continue to grow.
Talking about hosting competition reminds me of the latest coming from the world of cricket here in Nigeria. The highly anticipated International Cricket Council Under-19 Men's World Cup qualifier is set to commence in Lagos, Nigeria. This Friday, the actions are expected to be on because teams are gearing up for different parts of the continent will be arriving here in Nigeria. Mike, Namibia are the first team to touch down in Lagos. They arrived a few days ago. Of course, host Nigeria is here. Other countries are expected to arrive for this tournament that will feature Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Sierra Leone, all expected to be part of the International Cricket Council Under-19 Championship.
Yeah, Namibia early arrival. Reason for that very simple. We will be hosting, or they will be playing the first match of the tournament, which is on Wednesday to be precise, against the host, talking about Nigeria. So, and I think it's the reason why they had to arrive early, because that match will kick off by 9:30 p.m. or thereabout against Nigeria. So it is no brainer why Namibia are the first country to arrive for this championship, because they will be playing the first game against the host, talking about Nigeria. But then other countries as well are also expected, to start hitting, Nigeria very soon. So we just pray that all things goes according to plan, And then for Team Nigeria, I think we will have what it takes, because we've been doing pretty well of late in terms of the ICC Under-19 championship. Let's hope that we'll continue to, blaze on from where we...
Basketball, and in basketball, Nigerians representatives at the basketball season 5, Rivers Hoopers, are fortifying ahead of the basketball championship in weeks. Rafael Putney is the latest player to join the squad. Earlier on, we saw 2 players, recruited to fortify Rivers Hoopers ahead of the basketball. And it's believed that the team is last outing at the basketball league. So we wish Hoopers the very best of luck as they prepare for this year's basketball league Africa. It promises to be very thrilling. The Kalahari conference where they play has some tough teams as well.
Yeah, very tough team as well. Even I think the host country is also there in that very group. We have one new entrant. I think that is the only team that you may say they are weaker team in quotes, but then on paper you can't really call them a weaker team, because they bring a lot to the table as well. I have taken time to go through their record in their league out there. They did pretty well, and that is why they qualify for the Basketball African League. It's not going to be an easy one for Rivers Hoopers, but then with early preparation and some of the good signing that they're doing so far, I think they have what it takes to pull the chestnut out of fire in that group.
Meanwhile, I'll bring you the latest coming from international basketball, and the NBA is their focus. Houston Rockets playing at home in Houston, Texas, lost to Denver Nuggets 111 to 116. Denver Nuggets getting an away victory there, even with the absence of Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, impressive one for Denver Nuggets. Their last game, they failed to their opponent out there because of the fact that the likes of Nikola Jokic wasn't there. Then you talk about Jamal Murray, who wasn't there as well. But then this time around, they decided to at least up their ante with the absence of their 2 key players. Yet they were still able to get positive result. Big one for them.
Big result for Houston Rockets. Poor result for Houston Rockets at home, and big one for Denver Nuggets without 2 of their hit men. Meanwhile, LA Clippers in Los Angeles lost by 101 point to 103. Oklahoma City Thunder putting all to ensuring that they get back to Oklahoma with maximum points.
Expected for me, Oklahoma City Thunder, they've been thundering since the start of the 2025 season, topping the Eastern Conference right from day one till now. And I think it was a cagey game, just 2-point disparity that separated both sides. But then you need to give Clippers, some thumbs up out there, because you take a look at the consistency and the impressive display of Oklahoma City Thunder so far in this NBA regular season. You thought maybe they will whitewash Los Angeles Clippers, maybe 130 to 90 something, but then the disparity was very, very tight, just 2 points that separated them. But then it is still a victory for Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City Thunder taking out the Clippers from Los Angeles in a match that was played in the early hours of this morning. Let's go to boxing now. And in boxing, Nigerian heavyweight boxer Efe Ajagba has intensified his preparation ahead of his much-anticipated showdown with Martin Bankole, slated for the 3rd of May this year in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The 30-year-old Nigerian was spotted in training with British heavyweight boxer Johnny Fisher, named the Rumford Bull. Do you think Ajagba is ensuring that nothing is left at taking out Bankole, who is his opponent in this fixture?
For sure, that is what he's doing, preparing massively ahead of the May 3rd clash between him and Bankole. Bankole, not a bad fighter at all, despite losing his last fight against Joseph Parker. But the reason is very simple: that less than 48 hours, he was also called to be more like a makeshift replacement for the then injured Daniel Dubois, which he lost that very fight, because we can't attribute that to late preparation, late arrival rather. But then this time around, I think he want to do better, and that is why our own Efe Ajagba need to prepare massively for that clash. We just hope that at least he get this one, under the way, and actually get victory. That will help to relaunch him, even more in the heavyweight division.
Congolese Bankole up against Nigeria's Efe Ajagba in Saudi Arabia. That match was supposed to originally take place in New York, but of course it's now undercard in the fixture that has Canelo Barres in Saudi Arabia. Now let's bring you our last story for this half of the show, and it's coming from Formula One. Of course, the Chinese Grand Prix is the second Grand Prix for the season, and it had some incidents. Mike, Lewis Hamilton has been disqualified.
Alongside his teammates, not a good one for them. I was expecting to see what Lewis Hamilton would bring to the table, especially in the first race of the season, where he finished 10th, disappointingly. This time around, he also talked about his adaptability and all of that. We said, okay, maybe in the Chinese Grand Prix we are going to see what he brings to the table, but no thanks to that disqualification for Ferrari for both drivers. Not a good one at all. But then McLaren, I think they continue to set the pace for this season.
And Oscar Piastri of McLaren in the news, coming top out there, where we have Lando Norris, the man that had the very first Grand Prix in Australia last week, coming second. It is 1-2 for McLaren.
Yeah, 2 out of 2 for McLaren, because in the first race they took that one home. Piastri this time around making it count, and there is something significant that I just noticed in this Formula One season, that for McLaren, Oscar Piastri seems to be improving. Don't forget the first race of the season, he was supposed to even come first, but he was ordered by their crew to slow down so that his teammate will ensure that he comes first. Of course, he's the first driver. He did. Then this time around, coming first again, I think we should watch out for Oscar Piastri, because he has gotten back his mojo on, and we hope to see him continue in this fine fashion. Someone I was looking up to see what he brings to the table for the second race of the season is the Red Bull driver, talking about Max Verstappen, who even couldn't finish within third. I think he's finished in 4th position. But then some are still saying the season is too early for us to start mentioning names and start judging some of the drivers. But then the season has started. It has started. If you are losing some points right now, don't forget at some point it might work against you. If you are giving McLaren the lead, to take the lead at this early stage, topping the table with 40-something points, about 50 points as it is right now, because in their first race they had about 28 points. So I think it looked likely they are going to win the Constructors' Championship this season. Though, like I said, it is too early call to make, but then you need to start as early as possible to